at 7:45 a.m. PST. I'm going to be going over the two trades I took this morning really quickly, so let's get right into it. So this morning, looking at both ES and NQ, let's hop over to the 15-minute time frame. So we had yesterday, Asia session opened up with a gap. You can see right here. So we gapped up after yesterday's whole multi-day consolidation, gapped up from NVIDIA earnings into the London and Asia high. We didn't necessarily tap into them because we had this small little gap right here. So we tapped into the gap and we came back down, filling the gap. So that was all said and done. So after we tapped into the gap, we came back up and then we took out more liquidity into London session. So London session came back up, we swept out Asia's liquidity, easy said and done, and then we just trickled back on down into New York's session. So for New York session, we left a couple 15-minute gaps below. So for New York, we tapped into the 50-minute gap and came back up. But for ES, we swept out Asia. So there was a little bit of divergence there. So at the same time that ES swept out Asia right here, boom, we did not do that on NQ. So as that was happening, I saw, what I thought I saw was a bullish reaction on NQ because ES had already swept out Asia. And so in real time, I was thinking, okay, let me take a long on NQ because ES had already swept out Asia. So over here on the NASDAQ on the 1 minute, right, we had tapped into this lower 15 band. There would have been this 1 minute long right here, right? We inverse bullish, would have taken this long setup. You could have taken the initial break or the retest with stops at whichever low. The lowest one is the best because that's you're least likely to get stopped, but whichever one. And you can target the base or the high. I like to do either the 5 or the 15 minute to get the most common candle close. So you could go for like either of these. Also in the 15, you could do the same thing. So let's just say we're going for equal lows right here on the 1 minute. So boom, bada bing, smacked TP, 1 to 2.45-ish, right, on the 1 minute. Smack right there. So that was the initial thought I had. Wonder if I can show executions while I'm in replay. I don't think so. But the trade that I took was, I think it was a short or something, and I got stopped out on. But either way, the trade that I took was, oh no, the trade that I took was over here a little bit. This was the play I wanted to take. I faded it. I don't know why. I should have taken it because obviously it played out. But the trade that I got stopped out on was a short right here. Right, we had this high, higher high, lower high, and I was looking to take a short rejection right here back into Asia. Back into Asia low on NQ. I know we had already swept out Asia on ES, but I was looking to take a short right here back into the lows, so something like that. And I got stopped out because price did eventually continue to go higher. Boom, I got stopped out. So that's fine. Got stopped out for like a couple $100. And as we continue to kind of just trickle higher into this high resistance liquidity zone. I classify that as high resistance liquidity because on the 5 and the 15 minute, we have these wicks, right? All of these wicks right here are a high and a lower high, so price is unable to sweep out liquidity to create bullish momentum. So that tells me that sellers are in charge at these areas, so it's going to take price lower if we're unable to sweep out liquidity. So again, also over here on ES, we are just downtrend, we come up, we reject, kind of trickle down, come up. So if we sweep out London, we're probably going to go lower. But yeah, if we just go forward just a little bit on the 1 minute, this is where I took the short, right? I took a short on this 1 minute bearish inversion. All right, stops were at pretty much the highs. We had a clean rejection off of that liquidity zone, right? Equal highs. So we had wick, and we had a nice rejection right here, and price came back up, rejected, and so I got in at 588. Stops were at the high, and I just targeted this sort of area right here for a 1 to 2.5. And that was the trade that I took. I took those two trades, and that was it. Same thing is over here on ES. All right, you can see we had a rejection off of that area. All of this LR built up, rejection. We swept through, but we rejected again. So yeah, if we continue to play out price, we eventually come up and take out London on ES, which is where we're at right now. And we do bounce off of this 1 minute gap. So somewhat of a clean trade, just reacting off of price and key zones. But yeah, if I exit out of this replay and we tap back into, I don't know why it's not showing the executions. Can I not do executions? There they are. I don't know. But yeah, there's that short I got stopped out on, and that was the short that I took down to lower. And again, here's price just playing out in real time. But anyways, those are the two trades I took today. And yeah, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Friday, may or may not take trade. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.